My name is Robin Richardson. Today I would like to talk to you about spreading the word about spinal muscular atrophy type 1. Today, my purpose is to inform you and the rest of the world about the cause and the effects of SMA1. SMA1 is a genetic disease that affects 1 in 6,000 babies. 1 in 40 people are carriers of this. This is not anything that is known to a lot of people. The doctors call this a common rare disease. I learned about this disease when it affected my family in a great way. My month and a half old grandson was diagnosed with spinal muscular atrophy when I realized that he was unable to move his arms or his legs. We took him to the hospital and we learned several things about this disease. SMA1 affects the lower the lower motor neurons in the spinal cord, and they deteriorate and they die. Depending on the age of onset, depends on the type of SMA you will have. You can have SMA 1, 2, 3, or 4. Some children do not get this till later on in age. Um, like they said, 1 in 40 people are carriers of this, and it's not anything they test for, so you would not know if you were a carrier of it or not. It's just another risk we take in having children. Um, my grandson was taken to the hospital. He was unable to move his arms and his legs. They tested him for several different tests. They came in and they informed us of this rare disease. Um, he lived to be 3 months old. This disease is a very heart hurting disease. It affects families in the most traumatic ways when don't know anything about this disease. Um, it starts with shutting down the child's nervous system. Eventually, the child cannot move their arms, their legs. Eventually, they'll have to have support to breathe. They're at the end of the disease. The only thing the child is able to do is to breathe and with a machine and move their eyes. They no longer have the ability to move any parts of their body or any parts of their nervous system. They lose control of their bowels. They lose control of their urinary tract. They're unable to feed. They have to be fed through a tube. Um, and this is a very, very hard thing to watch an infant go through. Um, the reasons the doctors say they don't talk about this is because it's a rare disease and then there's no cure for it. There's nothing they can do for it. I personally feel like that is not a good enough reason not to inform the public of this rare disease or other genetic diseases that are out there that can have a very traumatic impact on the family and that there is no cure for. Um, why I feel we need to know about it is so families are prepared to take on the responsibility of being at the hospital, not knowing how long the person has, how long the child has, seeing the struggle that the child goes through while trying to breathe and trying to live, you not wanting to let go, but you know it's best for the child. Um, I feel like there should be more awareness on all genetic diseases. There should be um, more talk about diseases that have no cure. That way, families are better prepared. Thank you so much for your time. I just hope that you will understand and help me to get people to talk more about genetic diseases. If you stop and think about the effects this could have on your family, how you would feel not knowing how long you have with an infant child, watching that child suffer, and knowing there's other families out there that are going through the same thing. Um, just a thought that I have is when we're thinking about things that happen in the world and things that affect families and other families, we should stop and think about how we would feel if it affected our family. I never thought anything like this could happen. and it has. And I just hope that we can get more word out about the effects, the causes, and the possibilities of these genetic diseases that are out there. Thank you so much.